Welcome to Kitchen Connect. Welcome to Matters of Taste HQ here, and my name is Tracy.
And I'm Brianne.
And today we're going to be cooking a beautiful Tuscan penne pasta dish, or a beautiful Tuscan dish that really concentrates on broccoli, because we're going to be making a beautiful little broccoli sauce to go with this pasta.
And tis the season, isn't it, for broccoli?
Tis the season to be broccoli. Just made that one up. No, tis the season to be jolly, tra-la-la-la, that one? No, tis the season to be broccoli. No singing. I'm not allowed to sing on video. I'm just making up some chicken stock. I'm going to cook the broccoli in the chicken stock. You can definitely use vegetable stock. This is a big jar of the Urban Forager chicken stock that we have now got at Matters of Taste for sale. Cameraman's not going to show a picture of that, so I'm going to turn it that way. So we've got these for sale on as well as our fruit and veggie boxes. So on our website, you can go and get some beautiful Urban Forager stock concentrate that is made in Fremantle. Very exciting. So I'm going to cook the broccoli in the stock. Bryce just about cut that up, and I'm also going to cook some penne pasta in lots of. Is that mine now?
Yeah.
I can pop it in now, probably, can't I?
What am I doing? That's why I got this, to do it nice and fine.
Yeah, I'll pop these in, get that going,
and this will be nice and fine. So another great reason to have one of these little mandolins in the kitchen if your knife skills aren't that fab, or just get it done quick. And really good I was wearing the glove, because otherwise that would have been an emergency room visit, because it just nicked on there. But good lesson to learn.
Penne pasta we're using without fingertips. So this is, we'll talk about cooking pasta in a minute, but look at that. It's a really good idea, wasn't it?
What's
Whose
that?
idea was that, to get the mandolin
Yours, Tracy. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, you missed that, look.
But look, you know, like...
It's lovely, got a little sort of julienne of
and
broccoli
even
stalks.
Yeah, with my knife skills, which aren't as fab as your knife skills.
Oh, my knife skills leave a little bit to be desired these days.
Couldn't have got it that fine that quick, and we're cutting it super fine because we want it to cook so you can see the dish. There you go.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Yes, so we're trying to, the whole idea about this dish is to cook the broccoli until it's really sort of broken down and really quite mushy, which sort of goes against the grain, doesn't it? You sort of think, oh no,
I know. When I read this recipe, I was like, really? That's against your broccoli ethics.
Yes,
it's like, destroy the broccoli.
Yeah.
But cooked in the stock.
Yeah, and it keeps all the goodness, because the goodness is all in the stock. We're not like chucking away the water.
Yeah, you're not boiling it.
Did I put the pasta in there? I did. Look at that. Short-term memory is improving.
Do you want to put a
I can't remember.
timer on that as well?
Yeah. Timer on what? The pasta?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how much. 9 minutes, 11 minutes, either or.
Let me read the box. So we've got the Barilla, because that's our... Did you say that? 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Favourite supermarket pasta?
Yeah, so when you're cooking pasta, you can go top notch. You can make it yourself. Penne pasta's a little bit tricky to make yourself unless you've got a pushing out machine, what they're called, to make the actual penne shapes. But I'll also tell you, once everything's on, we'll have a little bit of time to sort of chatter about what we can use as alternatives, and so that you make the best pasta dish that is just up your alley, just your cup of tea, as we say in the kitchen.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah. And
when do you say that?
I don't. They say that in Italy a lot.
You do say that you wouldn't mind a cup of tea.
They say
and
that
a piece
in
of
Italy
chocolate
a lot.
cake.
Yeah, a piece of chocolate cake.
All the
what
time.
Can I get you? Oh, a piece of chocolate
cake.
Chocolate cake.
A
little bit of olive oil
Ready?
in our pan. Yeah, nice and hot. We're frying in our Cobram Estate extra virgin olive oil. The key to this dish is seasoning. Seasoning, very, very, very important. So I'm just going to turn that down.
It's the key to every dish, isn't it?
It is the key to every dish, but this has got no, So the thing is, when I first made this, I didn't know that the urban forager stock sort of existed really. And so I made it with homemade chicken stock, which was really lovely, but it sort of lacked a bit of salt. And I've been almost sort of putting this dish off, including it on the Cooks Collective, because of the fact that I wanted to add more salt all the time. And I found that if I added enough salt, it tasted amazing. I wanted to put bacon in it, you know, and you would anyway, and mushrooms. I wanted to put bacon in it. I wanted to get some salt in there. But, and this is where I came upon this idea that I'm going to tell you about in a minute, to get more salt in here, but in a very sort of intelligent way, I feel. Yes, although I say it myself. So when I was making it with the stock, my homemade stock, it was I just felt like I was putting too much salt in for most people, sort of like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of salt. Oh, here's the pasta boiling, good. So I decided when the urban forager stock came in, this does actually have salt actually in the stock concentrate, but not. It's actually WA lake salt, so it's good salt in there, and also it's made with all these wonderful organic vegetables in the vegetable stock. So obviously, if you want a truly vegetarian meal, then you use vegetable stock. But I like the chicken stock with the broccoli because I'm not vegetarian, so we can have that. And I'm going to fry off some onions, which are going to be added to the broccoli, which is yet to. Let's turn that up so we can get that boiling as well. Add the onions and some garlic to the broccoli once it's cooked, because I didn't want to fry the onions and garlic. Add the broccoli, then add the stock, because it would almost be like boiling the onions, and I just wanted the onions to be fried. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So I was looking at a lot of different recipes on how people actually made this sort of traditional Tuscan dish with the broccoli, and I just sort of then made it into my own recipe. Okay. So Tracy's Tuscan traditional trattoria.
Non-traditional then.
Yeah.
Definitely want to fry the onions first and then do it, but then it's also a longer process, because if you're cooking the broccoli in the stock for so long, and you were talking about the salt before, so you've got it's got the WA mineral salt from Lake Deborah in it.
Oh, is it Deborah's
salt?
Okay, yeah.
As opposed to what we normally use, the Murray's pink salt.
Murray's salt.
This is Deborah's salt. But it's, West Australian, so that's awesome. You were saying, are we talking about the secret ingredient yet? No.
I think probably when we get to the secret ingredient, because there's a few more bits and pieces that I want to talk about.
You haven't put salt in that.
I haven't put salt in that. I've just got the stock in there, because then I can taste afterwards. As I've been talking about stock quite a lot on.
And have you put salt in there?
I have seasoned that. You weren't watching. That's okay. That's okay. I know. You were busy.
I'm done.
There's a little bit of other stuff that I want to talk about before we go on to the secret ingredient, which everyone can probably see on my counter.
It's not hiding.
It's not really a secret anymore. But I just want to get this up and boiling and keep the lid on, and it'll take probably about 15 to 20 minutes. Now this has got about 6 minutes to go. So what we've had to do with this sort of live show is we're going to pretend that's taken sort of 15 to 20 minutes.
But also in your recipe you said 1 centimetre chunks, whereas we sort of I cut it through
very much smaller to get it to cook quicker. Yep, absolutely. So
but it is actually about breaking it down in the stock.
It definitely is.
Making
it's
a broccoli
broccoli
sauce.
More than like this simmering madly away trying to cook really quickly. It's actually much more of a slow, gentle sort of simmer to really sort of break down that broccoli. And when you do cook sort of long and slow, it does give you a slightly different result than forcing something to cook really quickly, even if it's broccoli. Okay. Even if we're forcing the broccoli to cook really quickly. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't mind a few bits of broccoli in here either. And it can be the way that you cook it. You don't have to cook that broccoli so that it's almost grey, not quite grey. Try and keep it from that grey, very, very overcooked colour. But have it a little bit brighter green, but really soft. It's going to be really soft, and it also it almost, like if you cook it far enough, it almost creates this like creamy sauce, which sounds a bit weird, but it is one of those funny things that it sort of breaks down. You don't normally cook broccoli that far, do you?
And cooking it in the stock will give it flavour whilst it's cooking as well, as opposed to like when my son James, we had roast at my mum's once, and he said, "Why does the broccoli fall apart?"
Oh gosh, yes.
Because he's used to, we have it just sort of just cooked, and then
broccoli's broken.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, do I have to eat this? It's like been boiled.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I hope my mum's not watching.
No, me too. Okay, let's move on. So we've got the onions are nicely coloured, so this will give a beautiful sweetness to it as well. But think about, the broccoli is fairly sweet green sort of flavour, and the onions are pretty sweet green. The penne pasta is not that strong in flavour, is it? It's quite bland.
Not at all, yes.
It's all about texture and carrying the sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic to the pan as well. Now that the onion is cooked, the garlic won't burn in there. Thank you. It just is so lovely, isn't it, when that garlic hits that warm pan? But I'm going to turn that off because I don't want the garlic to overcook. We don't want that to burn in the pan. It cooks very, very quickly. Obviously, small pieces because we've crushed it. But there are beautiful onions ready to go into to add another layer of texture and another layer of flavour into the sauce. So the pasta's boiling away. Can we talk about the pasta shapes a little bit?
Sure. Let's talk shapes.
Yeah, because it's interesting, isn't it? When you go to choose a particular pasta for a particular sauce, some pastas just don't work, like long pastas.
So you wouldn't go a fettuccine with this one?
You could, right? You could definitely with this one, but you wouldn't go with a spaghetti with lots of little bits and pieces in, because the spaghetti won't hold that sauce. If you've got sort of chopped up vegetables in there, spaghetti won't hold that sauce, as well as something like a penne or orecchietti, the little ears. They're one of my favourite ones because that really, when you cook it, it never seems to overcook. They're just always really al dente, absolutely delish. Strozzopreti we were talking about, weren't we?
Yeah, and I had to ask what that was.
Yeah, strozzopreti is a longer piece of pasta, but still considered a short pasta, and it's slightly sort of twisted, so at the end of the pasta there's an S shape in it. Barilla does it. Barilla will do it. And it's strozzopreti, I think literally translated is called priest strangler, so like a collar, a priest collar. So that's quite an interesting shape because the twist of the flat piece of pasta actually gives it grooves where the sauce can sit in. So it's sort of like if you've got a chunkier sauce, a short pasta is good, but if you've got a creamier sauce, then a long pasta is better, or like a tomato sauce. So like spaghetti with tomato sauce, that's probably spaghetti alla napoletana or something like that, isn't it? Yeah. Ciao Bella. That's my Italian. So we've chosen penne, but strozzopreti, fusilli, that lovely one. Fusilli, or
I get that quite a bit.
Or the little farfalle, the bows, really good as well. There's all sorts of things.
And you were saying about handmade pasta. This would be a good one to do handmade pasta. And if you didn't have a machine, just to do those little rolly things that you do with your
that would work as well.
Where you take once you've got the dough, you take bits off, and what do? You would
use the board and a little sort of pea-sized dough and press it on the ribbed board, which we haven't. Have we got?
Or on the I do.
On the tines for fork.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a labour of love,
like
though, isn't it?
A little bit of
labour of love.
Or those bits that you do. Can't really explain it, and it's not going to come out right. But you just do those little.
Yeah, you roll it, and there's these
like
tiny little sort of strands of pasta.
Pasta strands.
Yeah, that they would be delicious in that because of more. There's more. That's not ready. There's more texture. Absolutely, because those ones. I'm just gonna do another minute or so.
Okay.
Not 100% convinced that that's. I'm gonna do another minute. There we are. So we've talked about the pasta shapes that you can use. We've talked about cooking the broccoli. Obviously, broccoli's in season now. We're in
so
coming into
perfect
spring
time
anyway.
To do something because it's going to be packed full of flavour. And nutrients.
You're keeping all those nutrients inside that sauce because that is the sauce
inside the
that
beautiful stock that you were talking about. That, as you said, like all it contains is vegetables. Chicken, this one, you can go just vegetables. Yeah. WA lake salt, apple cider vinegar, spices.
Yeah, it's so brilliant. So brilliant.
Amazing.
But talking about the boxes very quickly, right now we also have just launched this week our build your own box, because people were asking, can they put in their fruit and veggie boxes from the Southern Forest their own choice of fruit and veggies. So the cameraman's been working very, very hard on this with our web developer as well, and a little bit of me too. And we now have a build your own box what do you call it? Service function? What do you call it, Mr. Cameraman? Has he gone to sleep?
Service.
A service. Build your own box service. So what will happen at the moment is it's just in option. That's a good one. Build your own box option. So you can still buy the boxes pre-packed full of beautiful seasonal vegetables and fruit, or you can put in your box what you want. So it's proving to be very popular. You've got until Wednesday night, so tonight, as we're filming this live. If you're watching this on the Cooks Collective, you'll have to go to our website to check out what's happening with the fruit and veggie boxes at the moment if you're interested. But Wednesday night, 8 p.m, orders close. So try our choose your own or build your own box, because you can have whatever you want.
You Bob.
Beautiful. What?
You Bob.
Bob.
Build your own box.
BYOB.
B.
Yeah. Biob.
Biob.
Yeah, not myob.
That's something
Biob.
Already, isn't it?
Biob, is it? Oh, okay. No, we didn't know that. So build your own box, so you can have in your box exactly what you want. Now, this penne will hold for a little while. It's quite a forgiving a forgiving shape, so it won't sort of overcook, because the tubes are really quite thick. The pasta's quite thick, so that's okay. We've got this ready. Our secret ingredient. So I wanted to get more salt in here, but I didn't want to put too much more salt in. So I thought, why don't we try a miso paste? Japanese miso. Now, this is
fusion cuisine.
It certainly is. And there again, I have been talking to, because we're doing filming for to America at the moment as well, and we're talking there. People are really intrigued about what our Australian cuisine is. How would you describe what is Australian cuisine? It's not
shrimp on the barbie.
It's not shrimp on the barbie, damper, pavlova. Lamb chops,
kangaroos.
I mean, it could be, but really, people don't come to eat that sort of food in Australia, do they? But how do you explain what our food is? It's quite
modern. I was going to say modern Australian.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it is. It's just Australian. So I've been explaining to these lovely Americans that we've been talking to over the past few months that it's really our own cuisine is what we have from the land, but also what we have on our doorstep, Southeast Asia, the influences that have come in, couple of hundred years ago with the Greeks and the Italians coming in, to the English, of course. So you've got your roasts, but the Italians, the Greeks, bringing in all this beautiful cuisine from their home countries. So we've sort of absorbed all of that and then taken all these lovely Asian flavors that are on our doorstep and just created that into a very fresh, interesting cuisine. But what is wrong with putting miso paste, which is salty and savory, which is called umami? What's wrong with putting that in there?
I don't know.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
That's the answer. It's nothing at all. So I tried it and it's pretty good.
Because you'd think traditionally this sort of dish you'd go something like anchovies.
Well, absolutely you could. Absolutely you could. And then people go, oh, anchovies, I don't like them.
But they wouldn't know, I bet.
No, they wouldn't know. But if you were the cook and you didn't like anchovies, you would know that you put them in. So I'm like, this is another way of getting a little bit of savouriness into, into your sauce. It's absolutely delicious because it's soybean. So
yes,
it's not.
And it's available in the supermarkets, pretty much all supermarkets now. So that's awesome. And we don't use it a lot in the kitchen.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
just going to tell you what it's got in it.
Keep it in the freezer. Keep it nice and fresh.
So if Bri can just hold it underneath the camera so that people can see. So it's got soya beans, it's got rice, and it has got salt, hasn't it? And alcohol. So
soybeans, rice, salt, alcohol.
Yeah.
Contains soybeans.
Contains soybeans. So if anyone's allergic, don't put that in.
But
this will really, perk this up. So miso paste, you can also put. We do in our Japanese class. We do a soybean, miso paste salmon with soybeans and a little bit of white rice vinegar. Not all of that. I won't go all of that, but I will definitely take what I like. Absolutely, I'll do that.
It is pretty much 2 teaspoons.
So I'm going to try this now. I've got my the onions in here. So yeah, white miso can be really nice, and it can be it's really versatile. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you haven't even put any salt. Oh, you put salt in the onions, but
not. I haven't actually added any salt.
So it's got a saltiness to it.
And of course, we've got our Parmesan. Now, like that, it's okay, and it's got quite a nice sort of base feeling to it. It's got potential. It needs to be brought out with something. So hence, I thought lemon zest is really good with that. So we don't sort of, I don't know, it doesn't sort of need the sharpness, but it almost needs a little bit of pepper, like this. Sometimes I can't say my words. I just have to do the actual.
Well, it's bitterness as well, like that. So we were talking about the tastes as well.
But the zest isn't bitter. The pith is bitter.
Okay, because that's what I was reading.
Okay. No. The zest definitely is not bitter. It's oily, but the flavour is quite sort of fresh. So now, having added that in there, it's going to take a little while, maybe a little bit more, and it'll take a little while because it's an oil base. Just the zest is just the yellow part from the lemon, not the white pith, because that definitely is bitter. And I'm also going to add in some Parmesan as well. Just add in the pasta. This. So I'm just going to stir this around, and it is quite a lovely light dish. So I know it's pasta, and people going, "Oh, I don't want to have pasta," but now and again, gosh, don't give up pasta altogether. Life's too short for that.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to put some.
I love that in the right place. Yeah. Because when you push it one way, it's different on the. There we go.
She's trying to get it just right. Delicious.
When you do,
I'll try and get this tasting
looking at
right.
a screen, you push it the opposite. It's like reversing.
It's very hard, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to give that one more taste quickly. And the final thing that we're going to put on the top is going to change this dish completely. This I've made some poor man's crumbs, poor man Parmesan crumbs, and this will actually change the dish quite substantially because of the texture. So everything's quite soft in here, and so I thought these beautiful poor man's.
The lemon's really come out.
Isn't it good? Yum. Absolutely delicious. I love it, yeah, because that lemon oil is going to take a little bit of a time to actually come through, and then that's really beautiful. Now, We haven't put salt as such in the actual pasta dish itself, but I really am quite happy with not doing that. I mean, you can definitely salt it at the table. I'll probably go for a little bit of
I was going to say, I wouldn't mind a little bit of black pepper.
Black pepper, just give it a little bit of a zhuzh. And I think while I'm stirring this around, we've got a question.
Oh no, I was just going to ask, isn't that poor man's Parmesan on the Cook's Collective now?
Yes. So the poor man's Parmesan, Bryony's got that there. This is basically a very crunchy crumb that has been, let me just pop that under there, that has been cooked in olive oil. So breadcrumbs that have been cooked in olive oil and they've crisped up. So we have, last week I just did a learn technique video. Had to look at Bri for inspiration there. Technique learn video on how to make poor man's Parmesan. And it's something that a gorgeous girl, Simona, who I used to work with many moons ago, she is from southern Italy, and excuse my bottom of my pan here. I know, I'm sorry, Mr. Cameraman, but I just can't do it any other way. And she taught me about the poor man's Parmesan because in the olden days, if the rural folk didn't have access to beautiful Parmesan, they used to make these gorgeous crumbs and pop those on top of their pasta dishes. And oh my goodness, they are so delicious. So in actual fact, I made those last week and I put them in the freezer as a bit of a, yeah, you can hear they're still really crunchy. So you can make a little bit extra and use those on your pasta dishes if you want.
But I like the idea of those and Parmesan because I'm a Parmesan
Yeah,
lover.
so we'll
Because I'm
pop a
going to
little
get the
bit-
salt from
yeah.
that and the
Yeah.
creaminess because it adds to the sort of the sauce as well.
Oh, that was it. That's what I
And-
didn't put in there.
Oh, this
Cream.
and you know what? Okay, so and there's two things. So we had a bit of cream just to put in, but it does say optional on the recipe.
Yeah, so we haven't.
Because we're and the other thing that was optional on the recipe
Oh, chili.
was the chili. Yes, was it optional?
Where did that? We didn't have chili and we didn't have yeah. So chili flakes in
Well, we
there.
can sprinkle some on top.
Yeah, we can sprinkle
I'll
some
get
on
it.
top. Oh well, whatever. So chili flakes. Do apologise about that. Chili flakes as well are really nice in the broccoli, so it gives it that a little bit of warmth. And then if you want to, literally 1 tablespoon of cream. I had some sour cream at home, so I brought it in. So a tablespoon of cream into that sauce just adds enough fat to just a few because the cameraman.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was
Cameraman's
thinking. At
looking
least
us
we've
going.
done it without the chili. beforehand.
So yeah, you can definitely add chili to that. Absolutely delicious. But a little bit of cream just sort of pulls everything together and just gives it a little bit of fat to sort of help coat the pasta. So really, it's only a tablespoon or two of probably whipping cream, thickened cream, or sour cream can go in there as well, and it just gives
What
it a little
about
bit more
yogurt?
mouthfeel. I think yogurt may split.
Yeah.
I think yogurt
But
may
If
split.
we fold it through at this point, it might be.
Yeah, if you fold it through.
But
yeah.
what's great, so we've got like the sourness from the lemon. We've got a little bit of heat. We've got the salt. We've got the umami. Just earlier, we were talking about all the scents.
Or the taste
tastes.
on our tongue. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we
sweet,
missing?
Salty,
Sweet,
sour.
which you'd get from
Broccoli. Yeah, absolutely. Sweet, salty from the.
So we've covered.
Yeah, we've covered the whole gamut, haven't we?
And such a simple dish like it looks like there's only sort of 2 ingredients, pasta and
But it's
broccoli.
absolutely delicious. Completely
I'm gonna
delicious. Okay, you're going to eat. So we're going to cross now to
Oh, yeah.
Ruth at the wine box, and she's going to tell you what to drink with your Tuscan penne pasta and broccoli. Over to you, Ruth.
Hi, it's Ruth Hall here from the Wine Box in South Perth. Loving Tracy's recipe this week. It's a Tuscan broccoli and lemon penne pasta. So already I'm salivating. I'm looking forward to all the styles. Really interesting, the use of the white miso paste. Now at first it put me into an absolute spin. I thought, how on earth am I ever going to balance this? Then I had to calm my farm, look at the umami products or the style of the meal, and just rediscover the fact that I actually love the umami factor in a lot of my own meals. So how would I balance that fifth sense, that sometimes difficult sensation that we have with our foods. Once again, I've relied on an old favourite of mine. This one's once again from South Australia. This particular one is from the Clare Valley. Now, we have looked at Gibson wines before. This is one of their ranges called Discovery Road. I'm using the Fiano today. Now, the Fiano has a beautiful structure. It will get through the lovely lemony style. It will also get through cheeses. So it will work really well with the difficulty of pairing things like the miso, the Parmesan, and the lemon all in one dish. I think that this will be an absolute winner, and I can't wait to cook this myself. Have a great day. Cheers.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ruth. That looked very interesting, didn't it? And note the free wine and spirit tastings at the Wine Box on Friday nights. So get yourself down there. Tell who Ruth. In fact, I think Hayley might be there on Friday night, Anthony, isn't she, this Friday? Yes, so at the Good Grocer in South Perth, the Wine Box. Go down, you can meet our daughter Hayley. She'll give you some free tipple if you want to go and taste something lovely. So Ruth is normally there on a Friday night, but Hayley's doing her shift for her this Friday night. So go and say hello to Hayley. For us, because we won't see her because she's at work. Anyway, we hope that you've enjoyed that this pasta dish, and that you give this a go. It's a beautiful winter into sort of spring type dish, and absolutely delicious with the poor man's crumbs. The poor man's crumbs recipe and video is on the Cooks Collective, so we'd love you to join us there and enjoy your cooking this week, and we will see you next week. Bye.